How's California? How's everything going on your end, your neck of the woods?
It's good. I've really slowed down with everything I'm doing. I kind of took like a few weeks off, like honestly. And I've been making music. I think we're always making music as musicians, so it's just slowed down a bit, which is nice for once because I'm always like go go go,
Well, that
which is
sounds
I guess kind
fantastic.
of California too.
No, that sounds
Yeah.
fantastic. Just because I've been in the studio every day working, so for me, I'm just like go go go. But I I
Yeah.
think that I could totally relate to you, and I will be getting burnout pretty soon, I'm sure. So it's okay, and not that you're burnt out, but just taking a break in general is always good, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was even thinking because my studio is in a beautiful place and it's in the middle of the city, and I was actually on the way there today because I forgot my coffee, and it's actually still warm, which is ridiculous because this thing works. But I was like, maybe I should just deliberately take little breaks and walk into town every once in a while because I always find myself just in there all the time and I don't even leave.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we do that too. Like we'll take deliberate breaks, like at least every 3 or 4 hours, if not quicker than that,
Okay.
and like go walk around the city and get lunch. Yeah, it's important.
Well, I wanted to talk to you today, the Matty and Courtney radio show, about the topic of today is the state of the music industry. Um, and I wanted to get your views on that as far as whatever comes to mind when I say, what is the state of the music industry in June 2024 coming on to July?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to my mind, I was in a meeting with like an A&R rep from Capitol Record a few weeks ago,
Okay.
and yeah, it's like when I think of the industry, I'm thinking of major labels and anybody else with a lot of money, and they're like only working with people who are like influencers and creators, and they're not looking for talent, they're looking for numbers, and it's sickening as an artist to think that that's what's being valued. And it's always, you have to think there's people who do it for the art and the music and the people, and then there's people who do it for the money. And that's kind of where the music industry, it might have always been like that, but it's just, it's gross, and it's creating, like, music creates a culture, and we should be cultivating actual artists, not just people who are popular.
I'm really glad to have this discussion with you, and I've also heard, I haven't spoken to anybody at Capitol Records, but I've also been paying attention to what other people are saying, including yourself now. And I've have heard that a lot of people are saying that record labels are not really signing people, new artists at least, that are, unless you're like blowing up on TikTok, and like you said, the numbers are big. Of course, they have their back catalogs, or they'll buy catalogs from older artists and stuff like that, depending on the record label. Who knows, right? But I guess today, if that's going on. And before I start ranting, anything else come to mind about the state of the music industry to you?
Yeah, somebody said up here, rock and roll is like fading away without bands keeping it alive. Yeah, there's like less and less bands, and like nobody's performing live. It's like, and I think I saw a meme with like Dave Grohl and then like Taylor Swift, and he was like, "We're calling it the Errors tour because we actually play live, and you make errors when you're playing live. Like it's what makes the music good." So
Yeah.
yeah, we're authentic.
Well, so yeah, recently I've been giving this some thought, and I've come to realize that the state of the music industry, in my opinion, has a lot to do with the numbers and with streaming, with platforms such as Spotify and Apple iTunes, and also Instagram and social media. And I think we're about, if we're not already there, I think and I would love to hear what you have to say, but I think that we're coming to a point where we're about to go backwards, take a step backwards again. And do you know what I'm trying to get at? I think you understand what I'm saying.
I see it. What I think of immediately is like even in genres, like rock music was overturned as the top genre in 2018 by hip hop. So hip hop has been the top genre since 2018, but I see a resurgence of a lot of people who are, I wouldn't call it rock and roll, but it's like more guitar-led kind of songs, and even if it's poppy or like hyper pop, which is very Gen Z, it's there's still guitars, and it's like that's where rock lives now, and it's like that's kind of where the genre is gone, which means it's still prevalent. It's just hidden behind whatever is contemporary.
Yeah, the chats are going crazy. Well, what I'm saying is, when I say take a step backwards, I'm saying that, like, for example, I was watching Curtis King. He's got a podcast. You probably know who that is, right? Curtis King. But anyway, he was talking about Spotify numbers and how a lot of people are saying, releasing music today is very difficult because you're going to make X amount of streams regardless. Even if you get millions of streams, which is pretty hard to do, pretty much, to get millions of streams actually constantly. Even if you do, like, it's not going to be something where it's going to, especially if you're collaborating and splitting it with artists, it's not going to be too beneficial. So what he was saying, and he brought somebody on to argue him, which was great, but he was saying that DYI, which is what he took his music off of Spotify. But what I'm saying is going back to having like real fans, not that we haven't left, but it seems like we artists have a way better chance of saying, you know what, I will put my music on Spotify, but it'll be there as like a poster or like a flyer for people to be able to see it. But I will focus on creating a website for my music, for my brand, and focus on the 15 or 500 people that actually really care about me. And I'll just work on doing stuff for the people that care about me. And the people that care about me can still listen to me on Spotify. But there's going to be so many other people that may or may not listen to it that I shouldn't be focusing on Spotify as much anymore, in my opinion, and take a step back until we figure out what the next hero is going to be. In a way.
Yeah.
Because Spotify was cool. Like, it did serve a point, purpose at some point, but now it's becoming... Go ahead. I'll let you talk. I don't want to keep ranting.
Oh, well, I think you're right. I think there's a waning of Spotify because it's been around for 10 years, and it takes 10 years for a company to either completely dominate or start to fade away. And I think something else hopefully will pop up in its place that is less centralized or decentralized, I should say. So it's like the artist obviously gets more pay, and they're not trying to, because they've made so many different changes that everybody hates Spotify specifically. Like, if you don't get 1,000 plays or something, they're not going to give you your money. Yeah. And like, depending on where those thousands of plays are, that could be like $5, which is, that's something for somebody. So it's stupid. And they're trying to, and they've been taking down a lot of people's music too. So they're really changing the music industry. It's like, do I really want to release my music on there and do like a campaign on Spotify if they could just possibly take my music down for the hell of it? No, I don't want to waste my money.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I'm also thinking about, it's like, there's so many other things and variables to worry about. Not just everyday life, but recording, making music. And when everybody says today you can't just be an artist, you have to know how to do so many more things, right? Well, that is becoming a meme, and it's like it's really like written into stone to some people, where they're actually really, really like not only believing that, but actually living their music career through that lens. And in my opinion, then where's the art going? And somebody said Taylor Swift is popular, but her music is crap. Well, I disagree. I know Alice Cooper guy doesn't like Taylor Swift, but at the end of the day, Taylor Swift whether she's writing all of her material herself or she has help with writers, it's still music. So I think that's an easy cop out to say Swift's music is crap. No, it's not crap. It's good music, right? But the problem with Taylor Swift is that she's so huge that they're like how many small music artists could live off of 5% of what she makes? You know what I mean? And be like super happy. Like and it's not her fault. It's more power to her, you know, but she's so big and everybody else isn't. So in a way that's like not a problem, but that's where I'm at. I'm just thinking maybe it's time to stop focusing on trying to be as big as Taylor Swift. Us, well, talking about myself, my smaller music artists, and maybe start focusing on the people that are, like, for example, people that are watching the stream, like Alice Cooper Guy or like Ricky Slayer, right? You're the people that actually care about what we're doing. So how about I spend more time and doing things for you instead of trying to do things for a platform that, yeah, millions of people have the potential to hear it, but they're not going to hear it. They won't hear it. And I don't have the budget to, you know, if you have $10,000, right, and you invest it in yourself, you could do it in a way where you just keep reinvesting it, and then the $10,000 is always there because you're making it back, right? It's a business, so you could figure it out. But if we're not doing that, if we don't have the 10,000 and we're not playing that game, why don't we just focus on what we can do? It's like there are people. Every music artist does have a mom or a dad, hopefully, or a brother or a relative or a friend that might be interested in their music. So if it's 7 people, be happy that you have 7 people, and I would say right now is the best time to nurture those 7 people and tell them how grateful you are and how much you appreciate the fact that they're actually paying attention to you, because that also gives you motivation to make more music. And just put your music where you want it, but also have a where it's not on Spotify, where they can actually give you 99 cents or $3 or $5 for a song that's on your website, and go to your website. I'm starting a website, so I'm all like website crazy now. But either way, a place where people can go to support you other than Spotify, I think is a good time, because eventually, I think sooner or later, something is going to change, whether Spotify changes the way they're doing things or another platform comes by and says, we're here to save everybody again, which would be great, but that's not here yet. NFTs didn't really work out, now did they? They still might, but they haven't really. People, it's getting into crypto, it's still too like complicated-ish for people to even want to think about it, in my opinion.
Yeah, NFTs are coming back a little bit. It's interconnected with like meme coins and like crypto. The NFTs kind of rise and fall with all of that, and it's the community. But back to Taylor Swift, like, I'm gonna fight you on this and agree with Alice Cooper Guy that when I was a little girl, and this is maybe just me saying, I know I don't like being ageist against certain musicians. It's not like, oh, you've had your time, now it's time for you to die and, like, fall off. But her music really hasn't changed all that much. And I like artists where it's like you get to really involve yourself in their development, and they branch out and do different styles, or like, even if I know a lot of the artists that I really, really enjoy and I have like their vinyls, they'll make like folk singer-songwriter music, and then they'll do like alternative rock, and then they'll do something that's a little bit more jazzy, and it's like, for me, that's thrilling and I love that. But Taylor Swift just really hasn't changed that much, and she is where she is because she was able to like seed herself into the industry, and she's like such an icon that is mediocre but very, very relatable to a very large population that has the money to go pay for her shows. And I think that's where she gets her success. But like, just maybe I just like alternative styles of music, but just like I remember singing like some of her songs because I lived in Utah, so it was like Taylor Swift country over there when I was a kid, and seeing her first album come out, and I really enjoyed it. And it's like I can still sing all the words to that specific like few first songs that she released, and I listen to her stuff now, and it's like, oh, it's the same thing. And maybe maybe I'm bad for thinking that, but I just think that if she wants to, I don't know, she has a cult following, but it's just, I like having variation when I'm listening to artists. I want to hear them try new things, and I don't think she really has. So that's just my take on the Taylor Swift thing. For one, it feels mediocre, and like she's not willing to be challenging herself or really trying anything new. Like she's not risk. I like artists that try to take risks and do something they're a little bit uncomfortable with, and she seems like she's always comfortable. So,
Well, I think that's again, everybody should have their own view, and that's why the beauty behind music and art is that it's not a mathematical equation. So you or somebody else may or may not like an artist, and that's your opinion. And another person, I don't necessarily have any thoughts about Taylor Swift's music being, yeah, I mean, there's probably some good, I think there's some good things that I like about it. But what I'm more focused on is that her success has grown so large. It's almost like Taylor Swift it's very similar to the way that the wealthy and the poor in the
yeah.
world, you know, the wealthy are getting wealthier, the poor are getting poorer. Like Taylor Swift is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and so is Dave Grohl. And all the other music artists that aren't them, you know, unless they found like their rhythm and they're slowly working at it and like for the most part everybody's they're not really growing. They're and I don't know if that's got anything to attribute to it, that those particular people are taking away success from others. Don't necessarily think so, but I think that the way people listen to music and the way that musicians are thinking about how they need to do music today, it's all, like you said in the beginning of the stream, it's all focused on numbers, streams, following, stream. And it's like, okay, well, what happens if you don't have 1 million followers? What can you do? And I think that more and more we should start focusing on the people that actually really do care and help nourish those people until we can find a platform for those people that care about us to all go to. And not to say that we can't still, Ricky Slayer listens to my music on Spotify. So I'm happy that I don't have much music on Spotify because I was taking it down, but I'm happy that I have some music for him to listen to. But I also want to be able to give Ricky Slayer some more music, and also some music that I don't have somewhere, because he's a special person. And all the people that are special are people that are going out of their way to like even pay any bit of attention to a small artist like myself or anybody else. So I think somebody's going to start understanding that, like, oh, it seems like we're taking a step back and we're going back into like people are making music. Like, I don't want to keep focusing on algorithms and how many times I post and what my post content is like. And I try to do that to a point, but then like I'm not gonna let that ruin the artistic integrity of my music. And you know, if I have a budget and I can pay people to do that, I'll pay away, and then that'll be what it is, and then I'll have all this cool content that I didn't really do other than be myself. But for now, maybe that's something that we can just try to do. Just focus on going back to making good music, doing the best that you can with all the things that we need to do. But I don't want to be like, a music artist today is not only a music artist. They have to do everything. I don't like that statement that everybody thinks is the statement. I just don't like it. There's got to be another way where you can actually still make music, which there is. You can just make music for fun. And that's what I've been doing in the studio. I just make it for fun.
Yeah, when I'm making songs, I'll even say to myself, like, I think Ricky would like this, which is so funny, just because he's involved in, anybody who's in the circle is like, he's a really good fan to have around. I hate the word fan.
I know.
But yeah, exactly. I'm like, it's influenced the way that I make music if he's still in here, and there's like a lot of, Rickies, not like there's a lot of Rickies, but there's a lot of people just like that where they'll influence the way you make music. And I'm like, just for the hell of it, I'm going to add a breakdown at the end of this song. And it's like, it was going to be a nice soft piano outro. Ricky is number one. Yeah, exactly. And I was like, no, let's add a breakdown. So it's like more, alternative rock, like medley kind of just in the end of the song as an outro, like, and you would expect something after that, but I had nothing. And I was like, people like Ricky influenced that. And like the reason that I made a little bit more like alternative rock styles of music too, it's like, well, if they enjoy it, I enjoy getting the feedback, I enjoy making the music.
Yeah.
And now I'm going in that direction because of it. And it's like, now it's like maybe the opportunity to open for like 96 Bitter Beings could be there in the future, just putting it out there. But it all leads to where you need to be when you follow the fans and the community that's willing to support you.
Yeah.
And whatever your success is, it doesn't have to be monetary. It could be community. That's where it's found.
Well, as far as whatever you just said about opening, like, of course I will we can talk about this. I would love to be able to do whatever I could to help you out. So if that was something that you wanted to do and I could do that for you, I would. So we're good like that. But now I want to say back to Ricky Slayer thing, it's like, I think that the Ricky Slayer person, he's so famous, Ricky Slayer, 100%. I think that's those Ricky and everybody that actually cares about an artist, like, they're doing what Spotify doesn't and what everybody else doesn't seem to be doing. Like, Spotify doesn't care. Spotify doesn't care. There are accountants working in Sweden. And people that like your music care. So that's what I'm sure. All I'm saying is, like, I'll let the accountants mess around with my music if they want, because everybody uses it, But I want people like Ricky and other people that actually care. I want to pay attention. I want to start paying more attention to you, the people that care. And if more people care, then it turns into something. Well, then I'll have a bigger platform to say the same thing that I'm saying now. It's just I'll have a bigger platform. But I'm not going to change too much, because I'm still being a music artist that does things for fun, and I'm not trying to like do something to be perceived so I can have more numbers, because that ship has sailed 25 years ago for me, and however long ago for everybody else, right? Doesn't matter. What matters is, do I like to do it, and do you like, you as the person that's listening, do you like it? And if we both like it, I think it's my responsibility at that point, because you've already showed me that you like it by paying attention to me and listening to it. It's my responsibility now to show you how much I appreciate the fact that you like what I'm doing. Whether or not I'm touching you in a beautiful way or getting you through the day, that's whatever. That's the music stuff, that's cool. But like you said, when people pay attention to you, it motivates you. It makes you think about, maybe I'm going to write this extra riff because I know Ricky would like it. Those things are really important. And and we're talking about it because we're making music. So I don't know. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap it up today? That maybe you said you've been taking some time off, but like, whatever you want to, anything that's coming up that you're looking forward to, or?
I haven't put any. I'm kind of stuck in that loop of wanting to see the numbers and like having a song that I have done right now finished. I have a clean version, the explicit version, like the instrumental. And I could speed it up and slow it down when I release it as an EP, just one song, I guess. But like, I'm stuck thinking that I should spend a bunch of money on the campaign and promotion, and then also just hating the idea that you almost have to do that, whatever that means, in order to get people to see it. And I wish, going viral was easier, so I wouldn't have to spend the money, and people who genuinely might enjoy my music would see it. But, it's just sitting in the back burner, and I wish it was released, a month ago, and it's still here and it's still sitting. But I think that, having conversations like this and sitting down to really understand why we're doing what we do helps us understand the true purpose and like why we do things, and like to just get past the idea that you have to have a bunch of money or a bunch of this or that. Like, it's going to hit the people it needs to hit, and you really have to trust the process. There's a lot of people that might wait years on their own without a label telling them, putting them on the shelf that, they're going to release their music. But when they have the money, whatever that means, and then they never do it, and then it's just, you get discouraged, and that's like a snowball that pushes you into this place that kind of just sends you into like doubt. And I don't want to be there. So it's like, I'm half saying, yes, I'm resting and it's wonderful, but I'm also like, or am I doubting myself and like holding back and like trying to think that I need to be somewhere that I'm not to be more fulfilled in my artistry. It's a dilemma.
It is. And I feel you on that. And I would say, don't let me trying to be like, because like I'm kind of pushing the narrative today of like, yeah, we don't need to worry about the numbers and stuff. And it's like, that's not really, that's kind of what I'm saying. But at the same time, like
Yeah.
we do need to focus on certain things. So don't take me the wrong way. But I would say like, yeah, like if you, like I said earlier, if you know there's a strategy of putting some money into a campaign where you're going to slowly make some of that back, like that's fine. Like I think that's
Yeah.
what I would love to do that too. Like it's just like you have this little chunk of money that it's almost like you're investing it and but you're not really going to lose it really. It's just going to be there to help grow your just your presence on different
Yeah.
platforms. But again, like I don't know what that. How much would you need 100,000 for it to be like significant, or would you need 5,000? Would you need? Because I don't think $50 is going to be worth it. Probably if you just throw $50 in, I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. But there's probably a number where like you could put in a certain. But it's like those things are great. Do all that stuff. If you can have somebody else do it for you, even better.
Yeah.
Because again, like just thinking about that is making me think about how everybody thinks that making music isn't enough. And it's like, well, but isn't it supposed to be enough? Isn't like the music that you're making supposed to be why Ricky Slayer wants to listen to it? Because he knows that you made, like, if I'm making it because I'm living on the gutter, then my song should sound like I'm living on the gutter. Now, if I have a huge success and I'm living in a mansion, then my song should sound like I have huge success and I live in a mansion, in my opinion. And if I want to make songs that sound like I'm living in the gutter on purpose, I can do that too, for fun, I guess. And that's the point of music, right? I don't know. Maybe that was a bad example or a bad analogy, but what I'm saying is just I'm just saying that it's time that whatever we're doing as music artists, that we start focusing on the people that actually care about us, and those people will help us get through this tough time, because I do believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel, where we're going to figure out that not everybody needs to be Taylor Swift, and there can be plenty more people to do things other than Taylor Swift and Dave Grohl. Maybe those two should do a tour together. I don't know if they are or not, but they could do a tour together, and that would be fun, and they would make so much money, and the Rolling Stones could play with them, and then nobody would ever get money again, because all the money would go on that tour. And that's what I'm saying. So till next time, this, because I don't want to get into a rant anymore, but yeah. Sorry, guys, I'm working as I'm listening to the stream. Awesome topics. Thanks for mentioning me, of course. And thank you all for streaming, or for watching us, and join us on Radio. Somebody mentioned really quick about the Lover song, and I'm just trying to remaster it, and I will put it back up. I have to talk to Courtney about it before I do, but nothing crazy. I just want to talk to her about it before I do that. But I will try to get that up, and I will also make some music available that I haven't released on my website. Courtney, you have a website?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, CourtneyNord.rocks.
And if you want to go to Courtney's website, also go there, because she probably has all kinds of stuff. You have music on there, right?
I do. Yeah.
I was on your site.
I have
like
unreleased
a month ago or 2 months ago, so I don't know. Do you? Oh, really quick before I let you go, do you update and change your site a lot, or is it kind of like? Because I'm building mine, so I'm just trying to get an idea of like how much maintenance do you usually, or do you just like update it when you put new music out, or?
Yeah, I update it when my stuff starts getting a lot of views, like on socials, and then I'll update it for each release too. So I had something that almost like a mini viral moment on TikTok for my my sync class. So I put it at the top of my website for a bit until that traction kind of died down, and then if I have a new release, I'll put it at the top of my site too, and then and I have music for sale on my site too, because it's like you can get the lossless audio and download it, and I buy people's music too all the time from like Bandcamp and like all this other stuff too, because I know that they get the money, and I'd rather give them the money and just stream it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at. I'm using Bandzoogle.
Nice.
Same type of thing, but I'm really, it's like very intriguing to me because it's good, like a place where people can go other than Spotify. If your music's there, great, but you can go directly to the artist, go directly to CourtneyNord.rocks, go directly to Matthew Janitis, website. And it's like there you can go, and I know maybe they don't drive as much traffic as Spotify, but it's at least that you're there and you're supporting Courtney or you're supporting me or anybody else that has their own website. So I think those things are going to be getting a lot more popular in the near future if they haven't already. And until next time, because I know Courtney has things to do and I don't want to keep you going, and I also have to put my son to bed. So without further ado, we will see you on the next stream, and thank you very much, Courtney, and thank you all for joining us.
Yeah.
Bye.